Enjoying a fine meal and some vino is really one of the best things about life as a human being. And while it's always good to have our gastric needs met, the best meals are those that engage your senses so much that you are transformed to another place entirely. And we have discovered a restaurant that provides just that sort of transformation experience. This is Hemmingway's Bistro in Oak Park, Illinois. Hemmingway's Bistro specializes in French cuisine, but the true essence of real French cuisine at the level of Vive la France. Part of the allure of Hemmingway's Bistro is the building in which it is located. This building is on the National Register of Historic Places. Originally opened as a hotel in 1926, and a hotel still operates here today, now known as the Wright Inn. That's Wright as in W-R-I-T-E. Right? So named for the writers who stayed here way back in the day, even dating back to the 20s. One of the most notable was Mr. Ernest Hemingway himself. We are here in the Frank Lloyd Wright district of Oak Park and not far from the downtown Oak Park, Marion Street area. And just being here in the lobby and then the entryway, which the Wright Inn shares with Hemmingway Bistro, I'm instantly getting that amazing time warp feeling. And speaking of amazing, it's time for us to embark on the amazing culinary journey that awaits us at Hemmingway's Bistro. Please join us. We will be transformed.
It's the wrong game with the wrong chips. Your lips are tempting, they're the wrong lips. They're not his lips, but such tempting lips that if some night you are free, then it's alright, oh, it's alright with me, it's the wrong song in the wrong style. Your smile is lovely, but it's the wrong smile. It's not his smile, but such a lovely smile. You know, it's alright with me.
This is one of the appetizers here at Hemmingway's Bistro, escargot. Let no one be afraid of the fact that these are snails. If you let that get to you, you're missing out on one of the finest delicacies of life. These are prepared in a garlic butter sauce, and it comes out literally bubbling. It's so nice in its special escargot casserole. And then you have to have the French bread for dippage, because when the escargot is gone, after you've eaten them, you're going to want to sop up that garlic butter sauce with this excellent bread. And when's the last time you saw a more adorable crusty French loaf? I actually want to take him home. And again, this is very classic bistro style. Here we have the frisée salad. Notice the beautiful greens, a lot of endive action going on here. Clearly homemade croutons. And there's bacon here, and the crowning touch, the poached egg. So what's going to happen is we are going to slice into that, and the yolk is just going to ever so deftly pour over all of the salad fixins. And we continue to eat and eat and eat. This is the herb-crusted whitefish, one of their signature dishes. Look at the lovely lemon butter caper sauce, sauteed garlic spinach, and creamery dreamery mashed potatoes. Here we have the steak au poivre, again, very classic bistro food. This is New York strip, and look at this robust sauce with the fresh green peppercorns. We also have an encrusted grilled tomato, cream spinach, and a very neat little potato casserole of sorts. Check out the luscious layers of potato and cheese. And now a dessert treat, profiteroles. Elegant puff pastry stuffed with ice cream. The sunshiny yellow hue tells you that it's French vanilla. We have whipped cream in the center and then adorned in the most magnificent way with a chocolate sauce.
Our love affair to remember.
Well, it is our honor to share a conversation now with Christopher and Lucia Alla. They would be the executive chef and wife team who own Hemmingway's Bistro. We thank you both very much for joining us.
Our pleasure, our pleasure.
And we know you have a bustling kitchen that's awaiting, so we shan't keep you long. But as we sit here in your beautiful bistro, and the French aura is simply unmistakable, I'm inclined to ask you, Chef, about the development of your culinary chops. At what point in your career did the French influences start taking hold of you?
I had to say early on, because back when I started cooking, it was all European chefs. I mean, American culinary schools were just getting started, and most people haven't really thought of chefs as a career. It was sort of like, oh, you're a short order cook, or you work in the kitchen. But Europe really embraced it early on, and it's a career. That people make their whole lives out of it, and that based on that training that I got early on, it was the only really training that they gave you. It was a bigger down kitchen that it was set up by the French, and you followed that. There wasn't really any alternative, and it was all classical cooking, and a lot of all coulis and bisques and heavy cream and heavy butter, and that was the French food back then. Over the years, of course, it's been reinterpreted and lightened, and American chefs have taken over and reinterpreted how they wanted to do. But it's the classical training of any chef is French, and from there everything kind of expands.
Okay, very nice. Do you remember what was perhaps the first French entree that you prepared that really stole your heart?
Wow. I don't know. I've always been a fish person, and probably a sole meuniere, deboned tableside. Peking duck is also really good. I like that. But I mean, the first French dish, and soufflés. I've always been just fascinated with soufflés.
All right, very nice. Now, your culinary journey has taken you to various destinations, certainly not just limited here to the Chicago area. You've been everywhere from, let's say, Boston down to the Caribbean as well.
I've gotten around. I followed the Gulf Stream, if you want to say. I mean, I love the Caribbean and I love seafood, so it's kind of led me on that course.
All right, very nice. And we understand that seafood plays a very prominent role in your menu here at Hemmingway's.
Absolutely. And living here in Chicago and being an East Coaster, and relocating, I miss fresh seafood, and I thought that it was something that we should incorporate in our bistro here.
Wonderful. Now, we talked about the different experiences that you've had. You've been a chef now for how many years?
If you include Howard Johnson's and frying clams, I'm going to say I'll go with 23 years, 24 years.
Okay, excellent.
I don't want to show my age.
Of course not, of course. But I have to ask you, as you were going through this journey of culinary experience, how is it that you two joined forces?
It was actually a hurricane that brought the two of us together. And Hurricane Hugo in 1989 in the Virgin Islands is where we met. I was working at the Hyatt Grand Regency in St. John, and this lovely lady happened to be a guest that got stranded there during the hurricane.
I find that rather romantic, I must say. You're stuck with me, honey.
Yeah.
And look, how many years later, and we are still stuck, but in a good way, of course.
Yes.
There's a good stuck. So, Lucia, I must say, times that we've been here, we can certainly see the intensity of your supporting role here at Hemmingway's. There are times when we see you, and then literally you just disappear from your spot, and then you materialize like yonder. It's amazing. And then she pops up somewhere else. You're front of the house, back of the house, and pretty much everything in between.
Yes. Yes, I am. I mean, I love my role because my job is to make sure everything's running efficiently, I guess, and making sure the guests are happy. That's my number one goal. So even though I'm sitting here, I'm always watching. I'm always watching, and I notice every little thing. My staff is aware, so I'm glad that they've picked that up for me because they have made my life a lot easier because they care just as much as I do, and they've been with us forever. So it's just making sure everybody's happy when they leave here. That's our goal. Yeah.
Yes, very nice. It starts with the cohesion of you two, and certainly your guests can feel the result of the cohesion with the whole staff. It's very obvious. Very, very cohesive group of folks, very professional, and yes, very welcoming. Nothing sterile about the place at all. Very, very warm and inviting. The atmosphere you've created here is wonderful. And let's talk about this location. Amazing gem of a place that you found here within the confines of the Right In building. So how is it that you discovered this?
Well, we actually stayed here years ago, and the experience was well and good, but we noticed there was a lack of a restaurant, and happened to meet the owners and voiced that opinion, and they told me they were looking for someone to help develop a restaurant, and I kind of shrugged it off, but due to frustrations with my job I was working at the time, decided that it wasn't that crazy of an idea, and I figured I've opened up restaurants for hotels and different companies, and why not do it for myself? And we got my parents on board to help. My dad's an architect, my mom's an interior designer. They helped us with the layout, and Oak Park has been very helpful with us in helping with funding, and it was able to get us our feet off the ground and start our dream.
Wonderful. Talk about the stars aligning. I love how your parents happen to have the perfect occupations to just infuse
And my dad's a painter as well. He's done all the paintings.
Yeah, this is unbelievable. So that it is the
price
stars
was
aligning.
right.
Dun, 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 dun. Here at Hemmingway's Bistro, yes. Very, very nice. What a lovely story, actually.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your menu. We mentioned, of course, classical French. We understand and have no doubts that everything on the menu is superb. But if you could, let's say, name a few entrees that you might consider signature entrees of yours.
Oh, definitely the herb-crusted whitefish. It's been on the menu since day one, and just a local staple fish. Everyone enjoys it and constantly orders it. The other thing I would say is our beef Wellington we're known for that we do on Saturday nights. We do the classic preparation of the whole tenderloin with the foie gras and the mushroom duxelle wrapped in puff pastry. And going back to soufflés as well. I mean, not too many restaurants still do them or serve them, and we offer them for lunch and dinner.
Okay, lovely, lovely. I know there was a rotating special signature entree every evening as well. This is Wednesday evening, so I believe we have the coq au vin.
We do. It's our plat du jour, and each night we feature a classical bistro dish, as well as some of them on the menu, and reinterpretations of French dishes as well, using American ingredients.
Right. Excellent, excellent. So we are going to continue our culinary journey here at Hemmingway's Bistro tonight, and of course we invite you all to join us. But if you would please do us the honor, Chef Alla, of selecting an entree for the crew and myself in which we can indulge.
Oh, the cheeseburger is excellent.
Only if the fries are fresh cut. Are they fresh cut pommes frites?
Yes, we do. We do make everything in-house but our bread. But I would recommend this evening the flounder grenobazé or the coq au vin, which are our two plats. And just because they offer a classic dish, of seafood and of poultry.
Okay, very nice. And want to mention, of course, don't think of it as a hotel restaurant, but again, this is a completely different world unto itself, both the hotel and the bistro here. But you folks are open 7 days a week?
We do. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We only close for maybe 6 days out of the year, major holidays, Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, and Thanksgiving Day.
Okay.
And other than that, we're here from 7 in the morning to 10 at night to serve you.
So we invite you to join us as we explore further the world of Hemmingway's Bistro, and to Chef Alla and Lucia, brought together by a hurricane.
Yes.
And look at the
Hurricane Hugo Love.
And look at the beautiful whirlwind of delights
You
that has
never know.
resulted. So
That's right.
we thank you for joining us.
Our pleasure, as
Very
always.
much. And I know the kitchen awaits, Chef. So
Well, I have 2 entrees to cook. I must go.
All right. And we're going to get some a bird's eye view of that as well, so we can hardly wait.
Thank you.
Thank you both very
My
much.
pleasure. Tonight we're going to make 2 preparations that are very popular here at Hemmingway's Bistro. We have the coq au vin, and we're going to have flounder grenadine, which is with fresh flounder. We're going to start with the coq au vin, as that takes the longest to prepare. Coq au vin has already been marinated in red wine and braised in veal stock in red wine. Basically, we're going to be just reheating and plating this entree. So this goes into a mixture of veal stock and red wine and chicken stock. We want to submerge it to rehydrate it and warm it. The next is our other protein, which is going to be our flounder. We're going to lightly season it, salt and pepper, and flour. Flour is going to help in not sticking, as well as give a nice crust and brown color. Hot pan, we use olive oil when we cook. Nothing extra virgin, just a standard olive oil. Make sure the pan is hot, smoking. Presentation side down, meaning this is the skin side, this is the presentation, the side that's going to be facing the guest. We have a nice sear going in. We're not sticking. We allow that to brown. The coq au vin comes with spatzel, mushrooms, bacon lardoons, so we'll prepare that part. We're going to take some clarified butter. Again, a nice hot pan. This is our homemade spatzel with herbs. Fish is not sticking, it's browning nicely. We'll get ready to do the other accompaniments with the dish. Again, a little bit of butter. We're going to do the spinach for the flounder. A little bit of clarified butter, not a lot. Some pre-blanched fresh spinach, a little bit of garlic and shallots. Pinch of salt and pepper. Basically, again, we're just reheating. Splash of white wine. And we'll set this aside until we're ready to pick up. Let's check our fish. We have a nice brown going on. We'll flip that, nice color. We'll put this in the oven to finish this for 5 minutes. Next, we're going to make our sauce for our fish. And our mushrooms and bacon for the coq au vin. For the mushrooms and bacon, which is a garnish for the coq au vin, a little butter again. We use 3 different kinds of mushrooms. We have button, portobello, shiitake, and some smoked bacon lardoons. For the sauce for the grenadine, it's a beurre noisette, which is a brown butter. So we're going to take whole butter, and we're going to brown it in a pan until it becomes the color of hazelnuts or light brown. To the mushrooms, we'll add garlic and shallots, and a pinch of salt and pepper. And being that it's coq au vin, we'll deglaze with some red wine. And again, we'll set that aside until we're ready for pickup. Our butter's browning nicely. We don't want to turn it black. We want it a light brown. The grenadine is a sauce with croutons, capers, and lemon. So we'll add that to this point. We want to take this just until it starts to smell a little toasty. We don't want to burn it, as that would make it bitter. And we'll use the lemon to stop the cooking process. So I like where we are with that. So I want to stop the process. The butter has a lot of heat. If I leave it like this, it will continue cooking. We're going to use the juice of the lemon to slow down that cooking process. And that's our sauce for our flounder. So we're getting ready to pick up now. We're going to start with our coq au vin, which has been warming in the veal stock and red wine. Our spatzel, which we already heated up. Still looking nice and hot. And we finish our mushrooms, bacon, and red wine with a little bit of the poaching gravy, liquid, and that goes on top of our coq au vin. That's our Wednesday plat du jour here at Hemmingway's Bistro. A classic chicken coq au vin over herb spatzel with wild mushrooms and bacon lardoons. Next pickup will be our flounder. Let's serve a plum puree, which we make every day. This is Idaho potatoes, heavy cream, garlic, sour cream, lots of butter. Our sauteed spinach, our cooked flounder, that goes on there. Our grenadine sauce that we made earlier with the croutons and the butter. Flounder grenadine from Hemmingway's Bistro. Enjoy your dinner. Bon appetit.
You can bet one lucky day you'll awaken, and your blues will all be forsaken. One lucky day, a lovely love will come your way. Long as there's love in your heart to share.
This flounder is absolutely amazing. It is a hearty fish, yet it is juicy and flaky. Perfect pan searing here on the outside, and the capers are such a nice balance, give it that extra acidic touch. The sauteed spinach is garlic perfection. You gotta love when you can see the garlic dancing all over the sauteed leaves. And of course, the mashed potatoes that we heard Chef Chris talk about with lots of butter. And yes, give me the butter, all the butter, I want it. And certainly, it makes all the difference in the world with mashed potatoes. And you hate to call these things croutons. They're more like just beautiful sauteed pieces of real French bread. Adds such a nice crunchy texture to this beautiful dish. And Chef has also chosen for us a Sauvignon Blanc. We would have chosen the same thing for ourselves. That with fish is a perfect pairing. And then our plat du jour, the chicken coq au vin, absolutely succulent, nice and juicy, moist, comes right off the bone for you like that. La, that's how it should be, la, just like that. Nice brown butter sauce, earthy mushrooms, and then of course we have, as Chef Chris mentioned, their herb spatzel. And it soaks up the brown butter juices perfect. They're like little butter sponges of fun. And of course, classic French, you've got to love the sprig of rosemary. Chef has paired this with a Pinot Noir for us. Again, the pairing could not be any more succulent.
Yet today, my love has flown away. I am without my lover. So, laughing friends deride, tears I cannot hide, and so I smile and I say, when a lovely flame dies, smoke gets in your Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Let us delve into the menu here at Hemmingway's Bistro to see all of the French delicacies that abound. Kicking it off here with the hors d'oeuvres, few things in particular to note would be the chicken liver pâté, the escargot, and the baked brie with apricot preserves. Salad selection, very lovely. We have a frisée salad, which we heard being ordered several times this evening, and the ultimately classic salad niçoise with a simple, fresh lemon dressing. Here we have a shellfish and seafood bar section. So we have the oysters, shrimp cocktail, chilled lobster, and then these products are also available as a medley for your group. We have a classic as well as the classic royal. You can do a whole conglomeration including clams, mussels, crab claws, shrimp, and lobster. What a fun thing to indulge in with your group. And then here we have the various plats du jour, featured entree they have on specific nights during the week. Tonight, of course, being Wednesday, we had the coq au vin. But look at the other fantastic things they have here. Friday sounds extra fun with the bouillabaisse, that classic French fish stew of sorts. And then here we have the main entrees on the menu. They have an excellent vegetarian option, the wild mushroom strudel with garlic cream. Even if you're not a vegetarian, my goodness, who would not want that lovely treat? And if you look at the rest of the entrees here, fine selection of protein. We have whitefish, tuna, prawns, steak, short ribs, lamb, as well as roast duck. Again, you can tell just by looking at the entire menu, it truly is the essence of French cuisine. The flip side of the menu features the bevies. See an excellent selection of beer here, both imported as well as domestic, and they even have the very local and lovely microbrew Two Brothers. That's a great choice. Here we've got the bubbly, of course, true champagne from the Champagne region of France, as well as sparkling wine from other regions. An aperitif section really is fun. That before dinner cocktail that is so classically French. Really, where can you go in the local area to grab yourself a little Pernod, sort of a licoricey, anise-flavored liqueur to wash down your palate and get prepared for dinner? Love that you have this very French option here. And then moving along to the wine list, we have our Blancs and the Rouges, so the white and the red. Most of these wines you can see here are from France, and I'm always fascinated by that just because, well, not only is French wine fantastic, but the way they have it presented is always by region. So it's by the appellation and not the grape. So you see the Alsace, Loire, Bordeaux, for example, the Rhone region, Burgundy region, Beaujolais. And then when we talk about the American wines, which they also have a great selection of, now we start talking grape talk. Pinot Grigio, Fumé Blanc, Chardonnay. So just a different way of expressing the same lovely beverage of vino that all of us just adore. And then here on the red side as well, we've got the French red regions listed, and then some lovely American selections down here. Fantastic wine list, and as you would imagine, any good classic French bistro is going to have a well-rounded, robust wine list to complement the food. Certainly Hemmingway's Bistro has that.
Well, Wednesday nights at Hemmingway's Bistro are not just about jazz. They are also about martinis, which are specially priced on Wednesdays, and you can choose from any of the excellent martinis on their featured list. So, of course, we would like to speak with the fine lady who's been making these for us tonight. This would be Justina. Justina, hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Thank you. We're loving everything that you've made us this evening so far. We've had the pear-tini and the French tini, two of which we understand are favorites of yours.
Yes, these are not only my favorites, but I've noticed that are some of the favorites. So I get asked that question all the time, so it's just chosen the ones that I think I like the best. But also you don't have to choose from the list. We have martinis, just vodka or gin martinis available, and that happens to be my martini. So I drink gin martini. So if I am asked about my favorites from the list, these are the ones that I prefer.
Okay, I see, but I do like a traditional bartender as well, so you like the classic martinis. That's fantastic. I'm more of a gin gal, too, I'm going to have to tell you. But now I must ask, how do you like your gin martinis? What's your personal mode of preparation?
I like them dry, dirty, straight up with blue cheese olives.
That sounds pretty perfect right there. Okay, excellent. So how long have you been bartender here at Hemmingway's, Justina?
As a matter of fact, I started working here as a bartender, and that was 10 years ago. And I was a part-time bartender, then moved on to working as a head bartender, and now I'm not only a bartender, but a sommelier and restaurant manager.
Fantastic. Sommelier, certainly one of my fantasy occupations and something that not everybody can achieve. It is a wine steward of sorts, but does require special certification.
Come on in. I want to make you a martini.
Oh man, boo, wake up now, 'cause I'm falling in love. So go spread the news to all of those stars above. Shine for my baby as we're dancing tonight, and fill his tender eyes with love and dynamite. Oh man, moon, put stardust in that bottle of wine. Just do your darndest to make sure that he'll be mine. And if it's possible, keep shining till noon. My sincerest thanks to you, sir, old man Boo. Oh man, moon, wake up now, 'cause I'm falling in love. So go spread that news to all of those stars above, and shine for my baby as we're dancing tonight, and fill his tender eyes with love and dynamite. Oh man, boo, put stardust in that bottle of wine. Just do your darndest to make sure that he'll be mine. And if it's possible, keep shining till noon. My sincerest thanks to you, sir, old man moon. My sincerest thanks to you, sir, old man moon. My sincerest thanks to you, sir, old man moon. That's Dan Effland on the guitar. Thank you very much, everybody. It's our pleasure to play here for you tonight. We're here every Wednesday at Hemmingway's Bistro. And if you have a special request, please be sure to let us know. If you can write it on a napkin, you can come on up and talk to us, whatever you prefer.
And so now we have the pleasure of sitting down for a few moments with Rose Colella herself. Rose, we thank you for taking time out of your performance to chat with us.
My pleasure.
And sounding
Thank you.
excellent as always.
Thank you very much.
Enjoying the set so far, for sure.
Thank you.
So we'd love to ask, first of all, about your performing here at Hemmingway Bistro. You've been here for a while, haven't you?
It's been many years, yes. I remember the moment that we were hired here because I was at Ravinia. And the guitarist that I usually work with here, Dan Effland, sent me a text and he said, how about Wednesday nights? And so we started, and I think it was about 6.5 years ago, maybe 7, I don't remember exactly. And then a couple of years later, we started doing the Sunday brunch as well. So we've always loved it here, and we feel like family here, and in fact, they tell us that we feel like family to them. So it's just a wonderful experience, and we've developed lots of relationships with regulars, and we just love it every time.
Yeah, very, very nice. And for sure, your music, style of your music, just the perfect marriage with the ambiance
Oh,
of
good.
the bistro.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And of course, if it wasn't for Rose, my brother and I wouldn't even know about Hemmingway Bistro because she's the one who first told us about it. We love the story of the first time that we met you. In fact, Jeffer Boddicker, the gentleman who also co-produces Something to Wine About with us,
Oh, okay.
was working one of the booths at the Uncork, Illinois Wine Fest that was in downtown Oak Park back in June. And Rose was performing there with your group, the Rose Colella Trio.
That's
and
right.
that was just lovely. Absolutely the crowning touch. Your music as a backdrop to all the wine that was flowing.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
We loved it, and we don't often get to perform outside, so that was very fun, and just everybody that we didn't know at all, and everyone was having a great time. It's very fun.
I was wondering how it was for you as you're performing, and especially a setting like that. You're just seeing everything. You're seeing the kids jumping all over the place in the fountains. You're seeing the moms running behind, and so how was that for you as a performer, as you're singing your songs and getting into the music, and yet being able to take in all the surroundings of an outdoor venue like that?
It's very exciting because there's nothing but pure joy coming from everyone around you. Everyone's so happy to be there. The kids are dancing and playing in the fountain, as you said, and everyone loves to be drinking the wine and tasting things they've never tasted before. And also the 360, because there were people all the way around us and back of us clapping, and everyone is moving around constantly. So it's very fun because it's constantly changing, and that doesn't often happen with an audience who's just sitting.
Right. So static usually.
Right.
Yeah, that was not static whatsoever. No. So very nice. Okay. Well, of course, as we all know, the realm of music is so vast. There are so many different genres and so many different roles that one can play should they want to pursue music as a lifestyle. So we must ask you for yourself, what was the spark then that set you on your path of pursuing classic jazz vocals?
Oh, well, I would say there are a few sparks. There are a few influences and a few moments that I'll never forget. I grew up in a small town in Iowa called Indianola, and I was raised listening to jazz records, and also my grandmother was a jazz singer. Her name was Lola Bard, and she was a singer in the 1930s.
How lovely.
And she recorded with Bobby Hackett and with the original Dixieland Jazz Band, and we have some of her records and her sheet music.
It was such a lovely evening, the whole world seemed to rhyme. Yes, I hate to part, but sweetheart, we can't cuddle all the time. Good night, heaven so complete. Good night, till again we meet. To you and you, and especially you, in my arms, my love, good night.
Oh, fabulous.
She was just a wonderful lady and told lots of stories, and I fell in love with the music because of her and because of the records that my parents played, and also because, for instance, my mother had this subscription for me to Sheet Music magazine, and so I would just sit at the piano and play for hours every day all of the music in this magazine that would come, and it was all the hits of the 30s and 40s and 50s, and there was also another moment I'll never forget in which I was hearing Louis Armstrong sing A Kiss to Build a Dream On. And that remains one of my favorite songs, and that's also one that I think I'll record soon for my next album. And at that moment I just thought, there's no other music that I can sing that will bring this much joy to me and hopefully to others who are hearing it, so this is what I have to do. But at the time, I didn't know that you could do it for a living, because as I said, I was in this small town. There weren't other jazz singers hanging around. So I just sort of felt like it was maybe a dream that I would have to just sort of put away. But then I found out after I went to college in another small town that you could actually major in jazz. So I immediately transferred to Roosevelt here in Chicago.
Wonderful.
And I got my degree in jazz here and have been performing professionally ever since.
That is excellent. So we're talking about your grandmother. This is literally in your blood then.
Yes.
You can't get more in your blood than that, the grandmother. That's lovely. And Lola Bard, the name of your production company, I understand. So certainly a tip of the hat to that fine lady.
Yes, exactly.
It's a beautiful story. How old were you when you first started taking piano?
Second grade.
Wow, just a little tight.
Yep.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, and I understand you teach music as well?
I do, yes. There's a wonderful private arts high school called the Chicago Academy for the Arts. And it's in downtown Chicago. And you can major in many different areas of the arts. I teach in the music department, which has 30-some students. And within that, they have their specialties. And so I teach all of the vocalists jazz, and they also study classical music with another wonderful vocalist named Alyssa Bennett. And then I also teach a jazz class and a piano class. And it's a wonderful environment.
I bet. How long have you been teaching?
I think about 6 years.
Very, very nice. Okay, so when you think about the young people now that you are involved with, you have an opportunity to influence them in a positive
Right.
way, not just with your love of music, but certainly with your experience. And you're seasoned now. You can tell them about performing and recording and so
Yes.
forth. Generally speaking, how do you feel? And of course, I'm just speaking in general terms. I know every student, of course, is individual. But when you think about the students that you have taught as a group, how do they respond? Do you feel that when you're giving them a message that's important to you, that you want them to grasp, that for the most part they are receptive to these concepts, or do you find it's more challenging to have them understand what it is that you're trying to impart to them?
I think sometimes it's challenging in terms of teaching them finer details of theory, for instance, but the heartfelt passion that I feel that I want to give to them and express to them and show them that they could then possibly go on and share with others, they're very receptive to. Even if they end up going in another direction, they all seem to be very receptive and very joyful in terms of learning this music that they haven't been exposed to before. And it's very important for me to show these young high school kids that they can go on and do this for a career, and that it's very important, and that I want them to keep it alive if they want to, and that we're all there to help them do it and show them how and point them in the right direction.
That is wonderful. That really is. And I think about, thinking back to the beginning, we think about your grandmother, who ends up really passing the baton, maybe even unknowingly, but she did pass it on to you. And then here you are actually reaching out then to the next generation and being able to carry on your grandmother's lovely legacy through not just
Yes.
your performance, but through your education of these young people. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. It's very important to me.
It really is. And you mentioned recording. You have an album, I believe, was released in 2009?
That's right.
Okay. And that was?
That was the Rose Colella trio featuring Dan Effland on guitar and Joe Policastro on the bass.
All right, very nice. And you mentioned an upcoming album.
Yes, I would like to record a quintet album this time around,
fun.
and I would like it to include A Kiss to Build a Dream On, and also a couple of my grandmother's tunes, and then some of my personal favorites that Dan and Joe and I have come up with some special arrangements for.
Wonderful. Can't not wait. We can't
Thank
wait to
you.
hear more of you, your trio. The quintet sounds excellent as well. And we look forward to the albums and the recordings as well.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, again, it was our pleasure. We appreciate your time. And yeah, more music awaits with Rose Colella.
Thank you so much.
Living for you is easy living. It's easy to live when you're in love. And I'm so in love. There's nothing in life but you. I'll never regret all these years I'm giving. They're easy to give when you're so in love. I'm happy to give whatever I give. Maybe I'm a fool, but it's fun. People say you rule me with one touch of your hand, darling, it's grand. They just don't understand that living for you is easy living. It's easy to live when I'm so in love. And I'm so in love. There's nothing in life but you. Nothing in life but you.
The sun will rise, the morning dew, we'll be together, another moon. Now will I be lonely and lost from sight? Or will you be the one tonight? Let them say what they say when they say what they say of our fancy. We'll make some happy and others blue. Be that it may, when they say how they say what they say of our fancy. This love is true, dear, we can't be blue. The sun will rise, the morning dew, we'll be together, another moon. Now will I be lonely and lost from sight? Or will you be the one? Will you be the one? Will you be the one tonight? Tonight. Tonight. Tonight.
Thoroughly loved it. It's the Champagne Sunday Brunch here at Hemmingway's Bistro. This lovely brunch occurs every Sunday from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. And the brunch includes a cold buffet from which you can graze joyously, as well as your choice of one of these fine entrees here. Very lovely selection to complement their cold buffet. Also includes a glass of bubbly, either a traditional straight bubbly or the extra splash of orange juice for an extra refreshing mimosa. Lovely bevy that is. I have chosen the crepes gratiné. classic crepes with French ham, Gruyere cheese, and button mushrooms. The crew has chosen the corned beef hash. Perfect cuts of corned beef with poached egg perfection, topped with the lovely stone ground mustard. Both of these dishes are succulent.
This is a special song for Mike and Laura. For a little sad little blue bluesette, don't you cry, don't you fret. You can bet some lucky day you'll awaken, your blues will be forsaken. One lucky day, lovely love will come your way. Long as there's love in your heart to share, dear bluesette, don't despair, 'cause some blue boy is longing just like you to find us someone he can be true to loving arms he can nestle in and stay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
We are still reeling from our experience at Hemmingway's Bistro. The food was simply magnificent. The atmosphere, elegant, warm, inviting, very French, so warmly, comfortably, wonderfully French. We know that you weren't able to dine with us directly, but we're certain that you could tell what an extraordinary experience Hemmingway's Bistro has to offer. You really must experience it for yourselves. Any cares that you had before you arrive here will vanish the moment you cross that threshold. The transformation awaits you. It's yours to experience. Visit Hemmingway's Bistro, 211 North Oak Park Avenue in Oak Park, Illinois.
Memphis in June, shady veranda under a Sunday blue sky. Memphis in June, and cousin Amanda's making that rhubarb pie. I can hear the my advice. Nothing's half as nice as Memphis in June. Memphis in June, the shady veranda under a Sunday blue sky. Memphis in June, and cousin Amanda is making that rhubarb pie. I can see the clock, it's ticking and talking. Everything's peacefully dandy. I can see Granny cross the street, still rocking, watching the neighbors go by. Memphis in June, sweet oleander, blowing perfume in the sky. Jumps on moon, that makes it that much grander. It's paradise, brother, take my advice. Nothing's half as nice as Memphis in June. Ooh, nothing's half as nice as Memphis in June. Oh, nothing's half as nice as Memphis in June.